This time of year is always interesting for Call of Duty. Between seasons, there's not much of note going on with the current game, and we're still a bit too far away to have official information revealed for the next game, all while we keep hearing more and more unofficially. Looks like this weekend's coverage is gonna be around that type of stuff as well, because we got some information in regards to the upcoming projects that you should definitely be aware of. This one today, a little less than ideal of a report for the upcoming title that looks to be Black Ops 7. So drop your thoughts as we go along, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe for more COD coverage, as well as other FPS titles. Got a really cool video I'm looking forward to sharing early next week that isn't COD, but for now, let's get into it. So, firstly, Black Ops 7 and the details of COD 2025. So far, it's been rumored that this game will be following in the footsteps of Black Ops 2, both in theme and in some essence of gameplay nature as well. So very big shoes to fill. Apparently, it's going to take place in 2035 and be a sequel to Black Ops 2, with a lot to play around with narratively that would fit the gaps between 2025 and Black Ops 2 and where we see Black Ops 4 ending up in the 2040s. Black Ops 3 takes place 20-ish years after Black Ops 4, keep that in mind. So we have a lot of stuff to play around with that is still uncharted territory for Call of Duty and a narrative perspective. But while it seems like there's limitless potential for how cool the game's narrative can be, it might not play that way, unfortunately. Recently, we heard some perhaps concerning rumors about this coming from the Ghost of Hope. Insider, leaker, whatever title you want to give him, it fits. Though we do need to note, it's not been corroborated by any other sources as well, but Hope's been correct in the past, so at the very least, I'd hear it out. He's got a solid track record with his leaks, but he said, hearing that COD 2025's campaign is terrible. And when asked to elaborate a bit further if it was Modern Warfare 3 terrible or what, he said, worse. Following up even more with details like, as far as I know, I don't think Raven has anything to do with it. I heard that a lot of the campaign team for Black Ops 6 left right before the game came out, so I don't think they have that manpower to be responsible for this one. And that, wait, it's all Avalon? Always has been. Talking about that campaign being set in Avalon for Black Ops 7 with the open world mechanics that we saw rumored for a little bit of time now at this point. And independent of the report itself, I especially appreciate the meme picture of it. It's all Ohio, that meme. My dumb brain rot humor loves those type of Ohio taking over the world jokes for some reason. But anyways, this is definitely concerning to a degree. I don't think that for some people this will be the biggest deal in the world, but for a lot of people, like myself, I'm really hoping for a good campaign here at this. I thought the Black Ops 6 campaign was good, really liked Black Ops Cold War's campaign. Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign, Black Ops 3 was, it was a campaign, I guess. Black Ops 2 and then Black Ops 1 and World at War were all awesome. So seeing Treyarch titles get back on track in terms of campaigns being good again, I was hoping that following Black Ops 2 here in a narrative perspective, we'd see something that's really cool. I mean, Black Ops 2 is my personal all-time favorite COD in just about every element available. But ultimately, is it necessarily the biggest deal? Probably not. It'll probably get dumped on for a week or so, and people will move on and look back every so often and be like, ha, that was a terrible campaign, right? I mean, that's kind of how Modern Warfare 3's went. That uproar with how bad it was lasted a week or two. That's how Black Ops 3's was back in the day. That's how Black Ops 4's lack of a campaign was. But I think that it's more indicative of the state of the game and its development that has people perhaps worried. If we can't have that built out and we're just reusing assets that have been created for a would-be Warzone map that takes place in the 90s while playing a campaign set in 2035, that might not be the best indicator for things kind of all coming together. But at the same time, isn't it almost inevitable at this point? I mean, we don't know the details of this game, but if it is by Treyarch, it's probably a real short turnaround time from what we had with Black Ops 6. Probably about like 12 to 18 months if I were to guess. Bare bones at launch, probably like Modern Warfare 3. But that's just the unfortunate reality, I feel like, of a 2-year cycle with singular studios taking the reins for both years if this does happen as such. I mean, think about what each of these studios have to do and how they're managed by the COD brand. Infinity Ward, they offer the full games, basically refused a year or two of support with Modern Warfare 3, now working fully on Modern Warfare 4 with, at the time of its release, another 4 years of development in 2026. Treyarch offers full games, apparently taking on a year or two for Black Ops 7 after having 4 years to develop Black Ops 6. Maybe some of that was spent on the sort of future-proofing and thinking forward to Black Ops 7 as well, that maybe it was like 3 and then 2 years with that year of post-launch going towards Black Ops 7 as well. Sledgehammer, they're the kind of weird in-betweens now at this point, where they make the full games, but they're also basically thrown on any project that needs picking up the big chunks of slack where needed. I mean, consider their dev windows the last few games, or rather, since they were introduced into the COD franchise. Advanced Warfare, they had the full support. They had ample amount of time here, and they knew from the get-go this is what they were going to be making. They had a genuine dev window for that, but that was it. World War II was a course correction in development off of what was reported to be an Advanced Warfare 2 following fatigue of Advanced Movement era games. So then they had to flip and make something new. Sledgehammer was initially then co-developing after that the game that became Black Ops Cold War with Raven as a standalone Cold War era game until they were pulled off when Treyarch came in which case they then had less than 2 years time to complete a game to follow Cold War, which was Vanguard, essentially reverting back to the World War II bones they had already set and were completed, and then making it modified from the Modern Warfare 2019 engine. And then after that, if you guys remember, we had almost zero post-launch support for Vanguard. That's because they were taken off of Vanguard to then make Modern Warfare 3, that reportedly being made in 16 months only. They haven't had a full dev window and have been pulled from every project since 2014's Advanced Warfare. Now, Raven, they're the day-to-day with Warzone. They worked on the last 2 campaigns as well for Treyarch titles, but are mainly focused on Warzone. That's your big 3 and 4 on who would make these games, but if they're all working on their own thing, again, Treyarch's kind of sucked back in to that second year in a row. Secondary studios like Beanox, they're mainly focused on map creation in the 2.0 era of Warzone. Beanox has created Verdansk, the re-release of it, Rebirth, and Vondel. High Moon Studios did Ashika Island, Fortune's Keep, and I'm pretty sure they contributed also to portions of Verdansk. But then you get to the smaller scale operations like Activision Shanghai, who just assist wherever's needed. Demonware's Matchmaking, Toys for Bob was on COD, but then they ended up going indie, so you see there's not a whole lot of help that's being afforded to be able to pick up a second year like this. When you have all these studios strictly working on things that need to come out on a regular basis, a 2-year cycle for a sub-franchise like Black Ops or Modern Warfare does not afford a lot of flexibility, if any at all, to get a whole brand new game out if you're going back to back like that. Again, the inevitable nature that something is going to come and just fall apart at this point. And it seems like that's the campaign this year. I know that each way you look at development, there's certain pitfalls. Like the big one with a 3-year dev cycle or 4-year dev cycle we've seen recently with Black Ops 6 and what will be Modern Warfare 4 is that games are worked on so far in advance that you're seemingly blind to some of the things that may have worked well right before the launch of that game because they've been working on the same vision 4 years in advance for those 4 years. I'll take the challenge and camo tracking in-game as an example. People can get mad at me all they want or say I'm shilling for a company, whatever. But if we're honest with ourselves, this is just the reality of the situation in dev. Like, this comes from developers. I'm not making stuff up here to try and justify why this might happen. The camo and challenge tracking was a hit in the 6 months leading up to the launch of Black Ops 6. But for those that don't know game dev, the last 6 months is the most critical here, getting everything ready to ship. So nothing is going to be adjusted, changed in course correction, anything like that. So that said, when this came out 6 months until the launch of Black Ops 6, putting that into Black Ops 6 wasn't on the idea board of things they needed to introduce in that span of the final 6 months in development. So that's a huge pitfall with setting a plan into motion so far out in depth, right? Hoping your vision is still relevant and cutting edge 3 to 4 years down the line from when you introduce it. But oppositely, short turnaround like that can probably just account for all those updated things. If we're just building off the last game as a core tenet of the game's offering, things like carry forward or basically just expanding the UI, gameplay feel, offering a whole large batch of new content and maybe some new core gameplay changes, like Pick 10's rumored to be coming back in Black Ops 7 as a differentiation point between Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, but I'd wager the game still feels incredibly similar. But if you're doing those types of things that it's more so building off the last installment, it's one of those things that you can be more reactive in nature and quicker with those reactions because it's more relevant ideas and not something that would have happened years ago at that point. Like, that's one of the things that I think Modern Warfare 3 did really well. They took what people didn't like of Modern Warfare 2, saw that feedback, we're already on a short timetable for development, and we're saying, hey, let's make these changes. And so that's why we got snappier gameplay compared to Modern Warfare 2 in Modern Warfare 3. That type of stuff can still apply. Now, is this a definitive stain for the game if something like this happens where the campaign and everything falls apart? Not necessarily. And listen, I'm an optimist, always have been, always will be. I'm always going to look for the capacity for the best outcome of a situation. I'm not going to judge this from what we hear right now because we've seen nothing officially. If we see the game itself and it plays and looks terrible, well then yeah, obviously I'm going to call a spade, but it's possible that this is something that we get another game like Modern Warfare 3. We've kind of seen this blueprint already, where the campaign, in my humble opinion, was terrible. But it was also what I think was the best supported Call of Duty title that we've seen perhaps in franchise history post-launch. Just getting to the finish line was something that was the problem, but after that, it was pretty good if you gave it a chance. Weekly support, substantial free content updates with each season. It was the inverse of the traditional COD game, where your launch was kind of boring, not much new or not much worth getting excited over, but then the post-launch stuff was phenomenal. Whereas other recent games, maybe it's the opposite for you, where you think the launch has a ton to do, but come this time, like February, March, April each year, you're bored out of your mind. So this, maybe it could be the silver lining of this is that we get another Modern Warfare 3 type of situation. But honestly, it's way too early to tell. But I want to talk a little bit about this because it's definitely something that is important to know when you consider what to look forward to in regards to what may be a reveal here coming in the next month or so for COD 2025. So that said, that's going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this report? Do you think it's something that's going to have some weight to it? Do you think it's just something that maybe got lost in translation and the campaign could be totally fine? Let me know your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing running all things Black Ops 7 and other FPS titles I'd love to have in the community. For now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.